Welcome back to the Football.com End Around Show. I'm Evan Grossman, your host. I'm with the one and only Joe Scumaci, and we're talking off-season winners and losers right now. Joe, give me your off-season winner, please.
I'm going to go to the NFC South, Evan. I'm going to say the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, a 4-12 team last year. I really just like what they did. Everybody said how talented they were, and they just, under Schiano, that clown, was he really a great coach or was he a college football coach? They go out, they get Lovie Smith, they add Josh McCown, the veteran, to come in and fight with Glenn for the starting spot. They draft Mike Evans. They now have Vincent Jackson, Mike Evans, two huge body receivers. The NFL goes to the big body receiver now. They get Elteron Werner to come in and replace the loss of Darrelle Revis. They're going to get a healthy Doug Martin back next year. I thought they had a really good defense as it was. I just think they didn't know how to win games under Schiano last year. I think they're going to be a much improved team. Probably the second best team in that division behind the Saints, and a chance to push them. I think they made drastic improvements.
Yeah, that division is going to be real tough. I like what Tampa Bay has done. They had a really good. I think last year they had a pretty decent running game, and now with Doug Martin coming back, they're going to be pretty formidable. But my winner off season, we just talked about this off air. I got to go with the New York Jets. I mean, here you went from one of the I think three worst offenses in the NFL. Yeah, they were awful. Their leading receiver. The leading receiver had 40 catches all season.
Bad.
I don't even remember his name. He was so bad, but I probably should because I'm a Jet fan. But Jeremy Curley, I'm sorry.
Probably Curley.
Yeah, so he's just anonymous.
It's sad,
it's
man.
Been so bad.
It's sad.
It is sad, and they were a sad team last year. And Rex Ryan was a sad guy, and I think they got a little bit of their mojo back right now. Rex hasn't been popping off like he used to, but I think that he's got some names. He's got some talent on offense. I think that they should have a legitimate quarterback competition this summer.
Yeah, good point.
Even though that Geno Smith has been anointed the starter. I mean, let's face it. If Mike Vick is the better of the two quarterbacks right now, there's no reason why he shouldn't be playing in an offense that now has Chris Johnson, who I think is going to have a little bit more bounce in his step. I would hope. The change of scenery from Tennessee. They've got a decent receiver on the outside, and Eric Decker, who could be a good character guy for them. He could be a big help to a guy like Stephen Hill, who's just basically a physical freak, but he just couldn't put it all together.
Well said.
And they've got these pieces on offense that can complement an already fearsome defense. And the defense, I think, will be even better now with Calvin Pryor back there because he's a top flight. First round safety. He's going to hit. He's basically the type of player that Rex and the Jets would. He fits into their bravado, and if he can be laying hits back there, it just gives them another element. I think there's a lot to be excited about for the New York Jets. It wasn't so last year. It was a pretty much lost season, but they've got pieces. They definitely address needs. We'll see about the offensive line, but. They've always got the New England Patriots and now Darrelle Revis to contend with in that division. But I think the Jets did what they needed to do in this offseason. I don't see any other team that did it better than they did. So they're my winner. Losers. We'll throw it back to you, Joe, and I want to get your loser because this is always fun.
My loser, Evan, I'm not doing this. Another shout out to TJ Hatter. I'm not doing an act of trolling here. I just really think they didn't do much again this year, and that's the Dallas Cowboys. Tony Romo's sidelined a lot of the year off of back surgery. Sure, he'll come back, throw to Dez Bryant and aging Jason Witten, but name me the other receiver on the other side right now of Dez Bryant. I really can't. They have a pretty good running game, and they went and drafted a guard tackle in Zach Martin, but gosh, that defense was so pathetic last year. I know Monty Kiffin's out, and I think it's not Linehan, he's calling the offense. It's Marinelli who's going to be doing the defense, so now they got set roles, but they just lost Sean Lee now for the season with a torn ACL, one of the better linebackers in football. They didn't address the defense really at all in their draft. They went out and got a guy by the last name of Lawrence. I think his name, don't quote me, I'm guessing here, Philip Lawrence or something. Who knows if he can be an impact player or not. They lose, one of their all-time great defensive players in DeMarcus Ware, and sure, Tony Romo's going to have a great fantasy season, and if you can take a quarterback late in your fantasy draft, you take Tony Romo. And they're going to score points, but they're not going to stop anybody on a fast track inside that dome. and they got the high-flying Philadelphia offense. What I think is going to be a much better Washington Redskins offense now with Deshaun Jackson, and the 14, the Giants, they can't be worse offensively than they were last year with Eli Manning, so they'll bounce back a little bit. I could see Dallas being the worst team in this division, Evan. They made no improvements, really, in my mind, and the unfortunate injury of Sean Lee probably did them in.
Well said, and the Dallas Cowboys who certainly have got some seats warming up for this season. There's going to be a lot of guys on the hot seat there. Yeah. Very interesting to see what happens there. My loser, same division. I just think that the Washington Redskins are just a complete mess from the top to the bottom. I know they took Deshaun Jackson from the Eagles, but I just don't see him really turning things around for that team. I mean, they have a pretty good running game. We'll see about the quarterback, with RG3 this year.
Good question.
They've got all the off-field stuff with the team name, which we addressed earlier. They've got a new coach coming in this year, a new offensive system, and I just don't see them taking a step forward this year. I think it may be one of those retooling seasons. I don't want to say it's a rebuilding season, but I just don't see them doing anything. I'm just looking around the league. I was trying to figure out who my loser was going to be, and I toyed with Oakland for a little bit, but who knows about Oakland?
Mm-hmm.
We'll see what they do. I don't think that they're going to have very good offense. I just don't. There's something about the Washington Redskins that I don't like, that I've never liked. They've always got these mercenaries and these high-priced guys, and it just never works out for them, and I don't see it working out for them this year.
Well, they have an unknown at head coach, Evan. I mean, they go out and get Jay Gruden, brother of John, and nobody knows about this guy. I mean, he was the offensive coordinator in Cincinnati. He did real good things with Andy Dalton. So can he rejuvenate Rob Griffin? We've seen a great Rob Griffin. We've seen a bad one and an injured one. But also their defense was so bad last year, Evan, and this is an overlooked thing because there is three aspects of the game. They were last in special teams. They were horrific in special teams. I know they gave up touchdowns left and right. So, I mean, who knows with a new regime coming in, but pressure on the owner constantly now with the name. I agree. I think this could be a bad division again, and I think it's Phillies to lose. Yeah,
I agree. I think the Giants did a lot in the offseason, too. The Giants are going to be much better than they were last year, but those are the only two teams that really scare me in that division.
Right.
The other two are going to cancel each other out, and I agree with you that is the Eagles' division to lose, probably for the next couple of years.
Yeah, also agree. I mean, not a lot of defense being played, and when you got division games like that, Evan, where not a lot of defense being played, and you're going up against Chip Kelly, you're going to have a tough time winning a lot of football games.
Yeah, well, we got a couple weeks till season starts.
Can't wait.
Weeks. Yeah, it's going to be great. I was checking out the schedule yesterday, trying to figure out when the fantasy football draft is going to be. September 5th is the first game. We've got a couple months to go. We've got some training camp. We've got a couple last-minute signings, but I think we're ready to roll. It's going to be an exciting year for the NFL, especially Football.com here. So make sure you check us out, check Joe out, follow us on Twitter, Google+, Facebook. We're all over the place, and I think that we've got a lot of stuff for you guys to enjoy out there. So, Joe Scumaci, thank you for joining us again tonight. All good stuff, and we'll see everybody out there on Football.com. Have a good night.